Joining us now is Marian Hill, a duo consisting of Sam and Jeremy. So I see Sam, I see Jeremy.
Hi.
Hello, you
Hey.
two.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming on. You guys have a banger that you just dropped, Spinnin'. I was
Thanks
listening
so
to
much.
that on my car drive home earlier today, and it's one of those songs that you take the volume knob and see how far it can go. So congratulations.
I would hope that every listener does that. That's great to hear.
Definitely. Well, I mean, it can't be good for their hearing, but I've kind of given up
Within
on
reason.
mine.
Within
Yeah.
reason.
For sure. When I was listening to the lyrics, I felt like Spinnin' told a twisted love story. Like there's a genuine attraction, but something's wrong. Am I at all close to what you were going for?
I think I'm happy with you taking that from it.
Yeah.
I think when we write, it's often very driven by what the music feels like. And the beat just had this really kind of woozy, seductive, but also kind of chaotic feel to it, which I think just inspired us to think about this kind of attraction where, I guess for us, at least, for me at least, it wasn't sinister so much as like out of control a bit.
Yes.
Like you're in the moment and you're not sure what's up and what's down, but
You're overtaken by it and overwhelmed. And
Is that an experience that you're both very familiar with? Was that more of one person's story than the other?
I don't know. I mean, I think I've felt that way in moments. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I've certainly felt that way. It's been a while, but definitely, for sure.
Okay, very cool. Now, this serves as the second single, if I'm not mistaken, for the upcoming album, Why Can't We Just Pretend?
I think it's like
April 13th.
Fourth?
Yeah,
Is
we've
it
done
really?
a couple. Yeah, I think fourth.
I think fifth.
Oh yeah, you're right, fifth.
Yeah, because we've been doing like a slow and steady rollout.
Yeah, for the past
that
year.
was kind of pandemic stalled. But
Yeah.
we did That's My Type with Baby Tate.
OMG.
OMG.
It
It
never
never
ends.
ends. And
Little
then
Bit.
Little Bit
Yeah,
and
gosh,
Spinnin' this
yeah.
year.
Almost half the album. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, that takes on another question then, which is, were all those songs going to be on the album? And I guess the answer is yes.
Yes.
They will be.
Okay, very cool. So that's out April 13th. We have heard now 4 out of the, is it 12 tracks? Is that right?
Yep.
12.
Yep.
Yeah. So we've heard a third of this album. What about the other 70 or 67%? What should we expect from that?
I mean, I think we've given hints of pretty much all the places we go.
Yeah.
In the songs that have been out so far.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really well-rounded body of work. I think we were talking about how our first album, Act One, was the product of like 2 years of writing. And then Unusual, we were like in the thick of touring for Act One and Down. And it was like probably the product of like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then this album was a return to the kind of, I mean, probably even like 3-4 years now of writing. We started writing songs for this album before, like leading up to our Was It Not EP that came out at the start of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like 2018 even.
Yeah.
And then we finished writing the album as recently as like 5 months ago.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there's a lot of really there's a lot of good
Amazing.
stuff. The cream rose to the top.
Yeah.
But I think, there's bits of what people expect from us. There's more sax. But there's also some more introspective songs that really mean a lot to us.
Yeah, I think too, like, we've been on this ride for about 9 years, and we've been really lucky. I think you're privileged to be in it long enough to experience both the highs and the lows. And I think for the first time, especially with COVID and, being separated for the first time ever in our careers, we really were able to take stock of where we've been and where we are. And the next song coming out, or one of the sort of title tracks of the record, we really infuse ourselves and our experiences for really, I think, like the first time we really like talk about our past and our lives, really, in a way that we haven't touched on yet.
I know there's a really personal undercurrent behind the album too, because it almost didn't happen. I was reading that you guys really frankly thought about calling it quits, and then COVID happened, and then you realized how much you maybe missed each other. And like, tell me about how important it was for you to actually get back at it and finish this record.
Yeah, I think it's really easy, especially I mean, it's hard to even go to the pre-pandemic mindset, but it can be easy when everything's going on, and it's easy to take things for granted, the things that you think will always be there. And I think, when everything else was taken away, like finishing this album became like a lifeline for both of us, of like something to get excited about, something to feel passionate about. And then like, I mean, it was fully solidified, I think, by just when we went on the tour that was rescheduled and rescheduled and rescheduled. That finally happened in September. And it's just, it's so affirming to get to perform for our fans and realize that there's all these people out there that our music means something to. And that's such a fortunate thing to have. And I think, made us having so much time away from it made us really appreciate it and want to make sure we could keep coming back to it.
Now, forgive me, I have to do this. You've answered this question a million times over the course of your career. We know the name it's not one person. We know it's not either of your names. It's not a combination of that. It's a high school theater thing. Would you mind telling the story?
Yeah, Sam, take it away.
It's actually middle school. I just did a TikTok about this. It's so funny. Jeremy and I we met previously, but we became friends in an 8th grade production of The Music Man at Haverford Middle School, and he played Harold Hill and I played Marian Peru. And when it came time to choose a name for what is now Marian Hill, we decided to combine our character names because it was sentimental to us. Never thinking this would sort of blossom into what it did and take us all over the world. But at the time, we thought it was a good idea. So.
For sure. Well, wait a second. You don't think it's a good idea anymore?
No, it still is a good idea. It has a lot of history, but because everyone thinks it's me or everyone thinks it's one person, it took a lot of explaining, and we still.
It's really funny, even though it came from names. I remember at the time thinking it sounded like a cool hill or a street or a neighborhood or something.
Yeah.
I believe I was living in Boston when Down came onto the scene in 2017. So I was playing that on the radio over there. And I remember hearing Marian Hill. There is a Marian something or other. I forget because it's been 5 years since I lived in Boston.
Is. Yeah.
It's on the Orange Line. Are you familiar
with Boston that's so funny. No. No, I don't. That's why. Well, because all of our I was gonna say all of our Twitter indirects too. We get like all of the Marian, it's like a toll gate in South Africa. So we get like traffic updates, which is really, and it seems to be sort of a problematic toll gate for what it's worth. Yeah, and it's a religious site, I think, in a different country, so that it has a lot of different meanings and home to different places.
So in a lot of different ways, though, this musical journey has taken you all across the world. You've learned things that you never thought you'd learn, I guess.
Exactly.
No kidding. What is something that you hope to keep learning as time goes on and as you progress as a duo? Is there anything that you're working toward right now that you're like, oh, we're just not there yet, but as soon as we get there, it's going to sound so good, or we're going to be so happy about it?
That's a great question.
That is a great question. I mean, I think as a producer and songwriter, I'm always mindful of like trying to keep evolving, which is less of a specific like skill I'm trying to learn or something like that, and more of a just you don't want to ever get stagnant. And I think for us, definitely in this album process, we really pushed ourselves, and I think just always to keep doing that, to never get stale.
I'd agree with that. I think as long as we keep pushing ourselves and sort of keep challenging ourselves, whether that's personally or sonically, professionally, I think that's really the goal. I think especially the last 2 years have put a lot of things in perspective. And I think as long as we're, still having fun too. I think like for so long, like fun was taken out of it and it just became a job and expectations. And I think I want to get back to that.
All right. Sure.
And also just not musical, but I've been trying to learn Photoshop and some video editing, just not to be doing that professionally or anything, but just to have those skills in my bag so that I can mock up things quickly and express my visual ideas better. Good.
Quick study.
I figure I know one program. I know how to troubleshoot. It shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got to have those skills because, like you said, the ability to express your ideas quickly, effectively, accurately, all of that is super important. And if I may make this transition right here, watch this. The same is true for breaking new ground sonically. You need to be able to express yourselves in new, different, but very precise ways. You've
Yeah.
both expressed a willingness to continue to evolve musically, professionally, etc. As a former failed musician myself, I'm, very interested in a lot of the production that you guys do. Like, the songs just sound really well put together. There's a lot of playing around with dynamics. And so all of those things that already make Marian Hill so weird, how are you guys going to become weirder? Like, what's next?
I mean, I see music as a big conversation. I think, every artist around now, it came into being through a confluence of influences. And I think for me, at least, it's just about really making a point of staying tapped in to what's happening on the cutting edge of music, what the kids are listening to, also what like the weirdest corners of the internet are listening to, like just keeping tabs on, hyperpop, keeping tabs on James Blake, keeping tabs on JPEG Mafia, all these things, like in different areas. Anytime something's buzzing, even if I don't like it, I want to understand it. And I think keeping an ear to that, like the new Rosalia album, for instance, is very different. And just always feeding the musical engine inside us that creates these songs with new and dynamic things.
That's a great point.
Wow. Another thing I noticed recently, we're going to take it back to a much more, I don't want to say basic, but we're going to take it back to a much more basic level here. I noticed that the official Marian Hill Twitter account keeps posting its Wordle results. So which one of y'all is that?
That's me.
You're getting rather good at it, if I may.
Thank you. I have to say, I only post my highlights. That I've had a horrible stream of the last 2 weeks. And I just got, I think it was 2 days ago, I got it on the second try. And I was like, I have to share this with the entire world. Everyone must know that I'm undefeated.
Have you guys been playing any of those other games? Like there's a, what's it called? There's a musical Wordle where you listen to the intro of the song.
Yeah, Poetal or something. I forget.
Something like that.
Or sorry, that's a different.
The basketball one is Hurdle.
Yeah.
Hurdle is the
Hurdle.
one.
That's the one. Yeah.
Have you been trying anything weird like that too?
I haven't tried Hurdle. I've played Hurdle a few times. I'm just that's just not a part of my brain that's that active or that I enjoy activating. I think
I'm pretty good at it.
I'd rather do something else.
Where
I land.
Yeah. For me, I'm just I can't go to sleep. It's like a bedtime ritual now. I'm just okay, I have to do Wordle, and I can sort of
wow.
cut off. Yeah, but I did Hurdle once. I think I want to dance with somebody. Thank God on the first try.
Well,
imagine if you didn't. Yeah.
Well, imagine one of these days though, you'll bring it up and it'll be do.
I'll fail it.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Of course.
Yeah, principle of the matter. Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground here. I think had a lot of fun. And the question that is easy to end with, I guess, is what's next for Marian Hill? But we know what's next. You've got the album coming out on the 13th. You're going to probably take that album on the road, and then you're going to start working on another album. So I'm going to go ahead and take this football and punt it 50 yards downfield and say, what's next in 5 years for Marian Hill?
Wow.
5 years.
I mean, we could do 10, we could do 3, whatever you guys feel like.
I think especially given this pandemic, it's impossible for me to think that far. Well, there's just there's no way to know. I mean,
a musical about our lives.
I think there's very little way to know. I can't plan that far.
Oh God.
I know I'll still be making music. I know we'll still be making music, but beyond that, who knows?
I like the idea. Go ahead, please.
No, that's, I was kind of joking with a musical about our lives, but to expand maybe in some way beyond the album form as a collaboration would be kind of cool. I don't know what that means or what form that would take, but.
I mean, I do like the idea of the musical about your lives, because picture this, right? somebody plays Jeremy, somebody plays Sam, and then they decide they want to get into music together, and all of a sudden Jeremy Sam is the new hot producer duo.
You know what? I love that.
And the cycle begins again. Yeah.
Exactly. That's a great idea.
Well, it's an idea. I won't call it great, but hey, it was great talking to you guys. It was great getting to know you. I have appreciated your music ever since I discovered you with Down, and there's certainly a lot more listening that I have to do, especially to that new joint Spinnin. I'm going to have that on repeat for a while.
Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Of course. Hey, thank you guys for your time. Have a great night.
You too.
You too.